journey has been like a train at different stops.
What message are you currently pushing in this season of your life?
I'm a creative at heart. I feel like creatives have always been served the short end of the stick in Ghana. If you go anywhere in developed countries, creative people are the ones that are cashing out. But in Africa or in Ghana, a lot of creative people are broke.
Can you distinguish for us what branding is versus marketing?
Branding is like human beings, like how they talk, how they think, what values they stand by, how they look like. So someone will change their logo and say, oh, they've rebranded. No, you've not rebranded if you've not done all the other things that come together to make branding what is it.
What are some of the things that you've learned in general, and what are some of the things that you've learned specific to music?
Let no one lie to you. Being an African musician, your biggest bet is yourself. You being African.
Act as a marketer and help repackage or market Ghana to the rest of the world. What would you do?
Ghana, right, is our forts and castles.
Hi everyone, my name is Veana and you're welcome to the RV Plus pod, where we touch on multiple conversations that vary between industry, music, brands, and what have you, everything in between. Today, we have an incredible man who's earned his worth in the industry, and we'll be touching on certain things soon, so don't go anywhere. We're about to get into the conversation. Stick with us. Hi.
Hello, what's up?
For the purpose of this conversation, should I call you Bernard, Kafi, or Meister?
What do you want to call me? Tell me.
Whatever
makes you comfortable.
I feel like a lot of people know you as Meister, so let's go with Meister.
I have a theory about what people call me. So when someone calls me Bernard, okay, my name is Bernard Kafi Sope. But when someone calls me Bernard, I know they know me from either school or work.
Okay.
Like serious stuff. When someone calls me Kafi, then they know me from time, like personally, like family or people who grew up with me.
Friends.
Yeah. But when someone calls me Meister, I know they know me from online. Yeah. Because that was also quite recent. So what do you want to call me?
I'll call you Meister for the sake of the audience. I'm sure most people are familiar with Meister, Meister.
Online.
Yeah. But would you say that your different names carry different personas? Bernard Kafi versus Meister?
If you say it that way, because Meister is like why I'm here, basically. It's the work I do, my online personality, Bernard is very serious. Serious corporate work. And Kafu is like me, just me being goofy and being myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What led you to all of this that you've done, especially as Meister? Where did it start from? Was this a pursuit of yours when you were growing up, that you wanted to be in the space or do what you're doing now?
It's different things, and I think I've grown to over time. It's an evolution of myself. If I tell you where the name Meister started from, it's just, there's no link, but when it eventually got to a point where I had to make it make sense for me.
Okay.
So, like I said, just being goofy online, I used to love D'banj a lot.
Okay.
So, and D'banj was Coco Master.
Coco Master.
So my online name was Coco Master.
Okay.
Right? You know, as we were growing, then we outgrow some things. I was over the artist D'banj. I was over it, and I wanted to kind of make the name mine. You get what I mean? So I changed it to Coco Meister, because Meister in German means master or someone who's good at what he does. So it was Coco Meister, and then got to a point, I'm like, what's this Coco doing?
Coco Melon.
What's this Coco doing there? So I'm like, let me remove it. So I moved it to the Meister. Okay. And then now I realize that people were like, when people are giving me fans for things I do because of what I do, like in marketing, when I used to work in Vodafone, everything I do, they'll be like, hey, like, big up the Meister, big up the Meister. I'm like, this thing like rings off very well. And I actually want to be the best at what I do. So I decided to keep it and make it more meaningful. So I remember when I launched my marketing agency, I called it Brand Meister. So someone who is good at branding, right? And I feel like I'm the best at that. So I just kept it like that. And it just involved to MistaMeister, because people too see me like, oh, MistaMeister, just change it to MistaMeister. And it's been like that since. So everyone calls me Meister in relation to that.
Or the Meister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of your work revolves around marketing and branding. For the purpose of our audience, can you distinguish for us what branding is versus marketing?
This question. I think, or I would say, branding is like a subset of marketing. Branding is very perception based. You get what I mean? Branding is why we choose things. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite musician?
But he's passed. MJ.
Why did you love MJ?
He just was lovable.
Why?
I loved him as a performer. I didn't know him personally, but I grew up watching his shows and just how his energy, his aura.
Okay, so him performing, something around like his identity. You also said you grew up watching him, so there's this whole nostalgia thing because you associate MJ memories to very nice times in your life. Probably you're dancing at some kids' party or you're eating party jollof or something like that. So those are all the things that come together for people to choose things. You understand? And that is brand. Brand is very mental. Brand is very in your mind. Brand is very like the vehicle on which brand operates is memory. You get what I mean? And yeah, it's a very mental thing. So people do all kinds of activities just so that people will mentally choose them. And the reason why sometimes you like something and you stick by it is because you've had history with the thing. Like, you like how it looks, you like how it sounds, you like how it makes you feel. Feeling is like the most important thing about branding. Like, feeling is believing. It's like how you feel about something. Sometimes people choose brands not because, like, I love Coke a lot, but I have a long story about why I love Coke. I don't know if I should share it here, but okay, let me just share it. So, for example, let me take you back to. I used to work in Vodafone. We had this boss called Uche. I don't know if you've ever heard of Uche. Uche was like chief marketing officer. She was there at the time where they were doing Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. O2 Live, all the really cool things that Vodafone was doing then. But she had this very tough aura about her. Like, at that time, she was probably like maybe 41. And when she's coming into the building, you see people's dads, like adults, running to sit at their desks. Nobody wants to step on her toes. She's very respected, but at the same time, very feared. Now, I on the weekend sometime I went to Marina Mall just like going to buy stuff, and then I saw they were doing that share a Coke thing where they give the and at that time, when they had launched that, they were only doing local names, so Kojo, Kweku, whatever. And I saw a track which was doing actual names. So I'm like, this is so cool. So I went there and I'm like, oh, can I make a name? They're like, I said, how many can I do? They said, as many as you want. I said, okay, I'll do 3. So I did one for my then girlfriend. I did one for Uche.
Okay.
I can't remember what I did the third one for, but I did one for Uche, right? And I don't know why I thought about doing one for her, but I just thought that like she'd been so impactful in my life at that time, and I kind of wanted her favor because I was kind of new in Vodafone. So I did one for Uche, and on Monday morning when I showed up to work, I waited at the front of like the office where you have the speed gates before you enter the building. And I was holding this bottle and I was waiting because I knew that she was going to show up soon. Mm-hmm. Now, when this woman showed up, walked up to the front, you know that thing, like everybody is like trying to be at their best. Like even receptionists, people are just hello and avoiding the elevators because when she even enters the elevator, people don't want to even enter with her. Like, that aura, like.
It reminds me of some of the movies, like Devil Wears Prada. Certain movies.
Yeah. She had that aura, like, trust me. So I was holding this Coke bottle with her name on it, and then when she came out of the speed gates in front of the elevator, I walked up to her with it. Even she, like the way she was looking at me, like I'm sure in her mind, like that kind of look like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I was even starting to reconsider it. Like the place went quiet. Everybody was like watching, like, what's this boy doing? Why is he giving a Coke bottle to this lady? Yeah. So when I gave it to her, she paused a bit before she took it from me. When she took it, she saw like her name on it. And when I tell you how this woman melted and became like a little girl, like, oh my God, Bernard. And she was like, this is so sweet. She gave me a hug in front of everybody. And all the people who attended were now like giggling and like, oh, this is so nice, you know, that kind of thing. And she was like so excited. It was just a very simple gesture. Yeah. She took it round, went to show it to all all other people in the building, and she kept it behind her where she was sitting. Mm-hmm. Like, so she left the company. Oh, wow. And anytime people come, she said, "Oh, Bernard got it for me." Bernard come. It made me kind of untouchable. Every time I do a presentation, people don't even want to punch holes into it because she likes it. So yeah. So there's this like long-standing emotional like memory that I have with it, that no matter how many videos of Coke that you show me using to clean the toilet or using to do something crazy, I'll still love it regardless. I still drink Coke. Yesterday I drank Coke. I'm sure today I'll drink Coke. I mean, it's not healthy.
We bring you
one. I would love that. Yeah, but that's what brand is basically. Brand is just very mental. It's just linked to emotion, linked to different things. When people do events, when people do activations, when people choose colors, when you do this beautiful podcast, people watch them like, oh, I love Veana so much. Oh, I love her fashion sense. I love the way she interviews people. Those are things that like stick with people, and that's why they choose brand.
What do you think are the common misconceptions about branding? Because it got to a point where it was like the word of the year. I think consecutively it's been since maybe pre-2020, and then 2020 escalated everything, and everybody's branding, my personal brand.
Yeah, people
branding.
Pick subsets of brand, like different things that come together to make the entire science of branding, and then they pick those individual things and say it's branding. I remember there was a time where, like, when the telecom companies came to Ghana, they would paint they'll paint people's buildings. I don't know if you remember. How old are you?
I don't think I remember. My feelings okay.
Yeah, but like I remember when MTN came, they'll paint everywhere yellow.
No, I remember.
They'll even pay people to pay, like when especially when you're even traveling outside into the regions, you see a lot of houses, because a lot of the houses like out in the outskirts, like they're probably like there's a lot of poverty out there, so they would give them like little money and then they paint their buildings. So you see a lot of yellow buildings along the way. Vodafone did it. A lot of the telcos did it. They call that branding too, because it's the change of color and that kind of thing. People who change their logos will say, "Oh, it's branding," but it's part of branding, but it's not the entire science of branding. So in a way, they're not necessarily wrong, but just that they fixate on just one part of it, like, oh, you've done a logo, my brand. So someone will change their logo and say, oh, they've rebranded. No, you've not rebranded if you've not done all the other things that come together to make branding what is it. Have you taught your staff to change the way they talk to people? What activities are you doing to engage your customers? How consistent are you pushing that value or whatever that you represent? Branding is like human beings. It's like human beings, like how they talk, how they think, what values they stand by, how they look like, what they like, and things like that all come together to make a brand. So yeah, it's very in the heart kind of thing. Yeah.
Would you say it's fair or accurate to say that a lot of people got to know you through your work with Mr. Easy? Would you agree?
My journey has been like a train at different stops, right? It's so funny when like I posted something recently about my work I did with Easy. Someone was posting something about, share something you did, got to do with the music industry, and I posted a screenshot of the proposal I sent during Skin Tight to Veana Lodge for them to give us the space to shoot Skin Tight. And there were a lot of people in the comments who were shocked that I worked with Mr. Easy. And that's just because they came to follow me at the point where I was verifying people for Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So over time, people have joined, like the people who used to follow me online years ago in 2010, 2011, just because of the silly tweets that I post. And I used to just post a lot of silly stuff, which I'm not proud of. Then there are people who followed me when I joined Vodafone. And I was doing all those cool things with Trey Songs and Barrows, like all those cool things we used to do, VGMA, Vodafone icons. People were following me at that time because I used to like share behind the scenes of things that I'm doing. The people who followed me during the Haptel era, the people who followed me during Mr. Easy era, the people who followed me during the Twitter era, people followed me during the Bloomberg era, lots of things, you understand? So, yeah, people have come on the journey at different times and came on for different reasons. But at the end of the day, it all ties back to being like a culture custodian and pushing the agenda of what represents us. You understand?
What message are you currently pushing in this season of your life? What would you say that is?
I'm a creative at heart, so and after I left Twitter, I was thinking like I've worked in almost all the important corporate spaces. I'm not even chasing salary anymore. Like I'm thinking of, I mean, it's important.
I was about to ask.
I have 2 kids who need fees to be paid, but I'm also looking at purpose now. Like what makes me fulfilled and what makes me happy. I still get job interviews and they make offers to me, and sometimes I'm considering it, but I'm thinking of, am I going to be happy in that specific job? Because sometimes the rules are just crazy. Sometimes you won't have time for even your kids, or you're not even be able to pursue things that you like. I'm a creative at heart, and I feel like creatives have always been served the short end of the stick in Ghana. If you go anywhere in the world or in developed countries, creative people are the ones that like are cashing out. They're the ones buying the boats, doing the cruises, buying the luxury cars, in the jets. And those are creative people. But in Africa or in Ghana, a lot of creative people are broke. They are packaging, they are pretending to have, but they don't have. They're living pseudo-aspirational lives, but don't necessarily have the money for that. But they're very talented. You see, there are creators in Ghana that have like over 1 million followers, but have never seen 1 million cities before. Think about it. That's so bad. Like they have 1 million followers, but never. Some of them have not even seen 100,000 cities before. And that's crazy because it should not be so. If all these people are supporting you and love you, they should be able to contribute one way. Imagine everybody gave 1 CD to someone with 1 million followers, or even $1. That's $1 million. Like they're gone. You get what I mean? And that happens in the US because if even people are buying merch from you, and half of 1 million followers, you have 1 million followers, and half of them are buying merch from you, you're making some decent money. If they are downloading some content that you are sharing, if they are watching how they call it, videos of you sharing tips about something, or they're coming to your show or whatever, the platforms and the structure has been set up in a way that creative people are able to make money easily. But it's not the same here because there are no structures, there are no platforms. The only platforms that we can make money from are still foreign platforms. Like if you're a content creator, YouTube is what pays you. Our most successful YouTubers are making good money because YouTube is paying them. Sheldon, Wodemaya, Headless, Chef Abby's. They're making some good money because of YouTube. So imagine YouTube shuts down, or YouTube says, enough, we don't want any more Africans on the platform.
Exit our territory or something.
And they just kick them off the platform. What happens to Kuja Sheldon? What happens to Wodemaya? What happens to all of them? It's just a question. I know it's not going to happen, but some of these guys too have been able to build other things beyond them. But you have to reach some level to be able to have that kind of even financial knowledge to, like, for example, Wodemaya has moved into real estate and he's doing other things. Same with Sheldon. I'm sure they all have like side things that they do. But that's a problem. People are creative but can't cash out and they're broke. And we're struggling and we are just walking around with fame and building attention, but that attention is not giving us any money. So what I pursue now is trying to build structure, trying to guide people in a way in which they can make money as creatives, trying to find a way in which I can influence policy or build platforms or invite platforms here, or just have my space, Jambo space, where people can come and record stuff and create the little stepping stones that would even allow them to make the money that they want to make. So that's my passion now. That's my purpose now. And that is why I run Jambo spaces and I'm focused on the creator economy.
Okay. So say I come to you or I came to you and said, okay, Meister, I'm Veana, I'm an artist, or let's say entertainer, and I want to monetize my brand. What would you be looking at and how would you help someone like me?
I would first try and understand your distribution arrangement. Why are you distributing your music? Because it's like cooking jollof and putting it under your bed. If you make great music, and I know your music, your voice is really good, and your talent, like you're very talented. But distribution, how are you also amplifying it? So distribution will get to the channels, but then how are you also marketing so people will choose you out of other musicians? What publishing deal do you have? Because a lot of artists don't know that publishing is one of the strong cash avenues when you're making music. There are people who are getting really good publishing deals and they're not even super big artists. They just had really good negotiations and know where to put their music, and they're getting really good checks from their publishers. So those are things I'll just ask and try and figure out how. And we have a music studio too. So maybe do you want a place to record? Do you want a producer to work with? Do you want us to put you in touch with a distributor? Do you want us to have a conversation about publishing and which publisher you should choose? And anything at all that would connect you to a gig. Sometimes some brands just want someone to represent them or sing a jingle for them or something. But anything at all that can help you make money.
So Jambo acts or doubles as a creative agent or like an agency of some
It's not
sort?
an agency. It's an incubator. Incubator is like how chickens are hatched, right? Like we prepare people who are like trying to hatch into the world, or like say like a creative, you want to be prepared for the world. So we take you through different, depending on your needs, because the creative spectrum is so wide. It's like there's advertising, there's fashion, there's music, there's animation, there's content creation. It's just a lot. So everybody comes to their own problem. Some people come and say, I just want a place to record. Some people just come and say, I want to travel. Some people come and say, I want to do an event. Some people come and say, I want to help sell my content online. Some people come and say, I want equipment to shoot something. So it really depends on what you want to do. But we also run our own programs where we run an academy called the Africa Digital Creator Academy. So we do it once a year. Last year we did the first one, which was 25 people. This year I want to increase it. So things like that. That's what we do. Yeah.
Okay. So within the conversation around the creator economy in Africa, I think generally globally, it's the projections are huge. In Africa, we're contributing to it, but we're
very small.
Very small, and we're not getting the same benefits.
I don't think we're even contributing up to 4% to the world. Yeah, but because there are a lot of us, but there are really no platforms. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's just, right now, it's just vibes. Like there are so many big TikTokers, but TikTok is not paying creators here.
Yeah.
But if they were paying them, recently I said Twitter is paying people, or they said it's X now. X is paying people.
your former workplace.
I know, right? X is paying people now. YouTube is paying people. Facebook is paying people. But even the payouts are not that significant for Africa, because to them it's a very small market. I mean, I don't want to go into the technicalities and complexities of that, but there are other ways. So if the platforms are not prioritizing us, then let's find other ways that work for us. You understand? We can create our own platforms to maybe sell our content. Like, is it music content that people are downloading by sides, or are we working through maybe the telecom companies so that people are paying more to watch some of our stuff or download some of our stuff? those are things that we could look at. I'm sure there are other tech players who are creating platforms like that. But, as Africans, we also aspire to be very Western. So someone will create an African thing and it might be functioning even better than like an Instagram or better than a YouTube, but we don't want it because it's not cool. It's not. It doesn't feel like we day inside. We belong to the world. Like we want to also jack or work on the things that work with platforms that the world is working on because it's cool to be on YouTube, but it's not cool to be on maybe asanka.com or something like that, which is I don't know. It's just a name I just said. But yeah, those are also the problems that there are people definitely building solutions, but nobody cares because we all want to be on. Like there's something that I've been saying recently that people want to stream in Ghana, right? They want to start a whole streaming culture. And then they're on Twitch. But Twitch it will eventually grow like TikTok did, but okay, fine, YouTube is still foreign, but YouTube is working perfectly. Even the biggest streamer, Speed, came here, he was using YouTube for his stream. Yeah. So why do you want to go on Twitch just because you saw Kai on it, just because you saw Speed on it, just because you saw the DDG and
most
all those?
Most of them have even deals with the...
Yeah, they have deals with these platforms who are paying them crazy to just be on it. And you are here in Ghana and you want to do streaming and the first platform of choice is Twitch because it's cool, because the people that you look up to are doing it. No, look for a platform that works for you. Why don't you start with a local platform that's even a link with Momo, and then if your content is good, people will go there to find it, and if they go there to find it, they'll pay for it, and you start making money. Before you know, you'll be the first case study to prove that people can actually cash out from working with asanka.com or zinabu.com or kakalika, kakalika. or something. I don't know. Yeah.
But over your career across multiple spaces like marketing, I think primarily I could say at the crux of what you do is marketing.
Yeah.
Is that correct to say? What are some of the things that you've learned in general, and what are some of the things that you've learned specific to music and Ghanaian music and the industry that if we started paying attention to, we could potentially alter the conversation?
So what I'm about to say is segueing from what I just said, and that is selling, like being authentic to ourselves. We let no one lie to you. Being an African musician, your biggest bet or your biggest sellability is yourself. You being African, because when they hear the sound, it's new to them. Someone in New York is so like intrigued by the kind of sound you're making with the high life tones and the drums and the melodies. Even Nigerians that are even Africans, they're so intrigued by Ghanaian high life melodies that they come and they try and jack it. If you look back in time, Fela came here to learn stuff. He came to learn stuff. Nigerians don't want to admit it, but he came here for a while. If you know,
they really don't want to.
If you know, I mean, I don't know a lot of the names, but even Bibini, how do you call it, productions, Faisal Hawani, and some of the like old greats used to work closely with Fela and inspired him to even get the high life sound that he has. But let's not even talk about our people, as in between ourselves. When you're exporting music outside, the reason that people hear it and are so intrigued is because it's unique. It has a tribal tone to it. It has African instruments that they've never heard some of these instruments before. They've never heard that sound before. They've never heard how this melody will move from this pitch to this pitch. So that's the biggest way to sell yourself. Your clothing, the way you dress, very African, the chants you make, the ad-libs, all those things are very unique to them. You get what I mean? You trying to make music and trying to sound like another Lil Wayne or another 50 Cent, it doesn't make any sense. You get what I mean? Like someone in Atlanta is not coming to listen to you that you're sitting in Kwadaso somewhere trying to sound like them. You get what I mean?
But an argument that somebody can make to that is Tyla, okay, well, she does South African music, but some of her music, it sounds poppy. It sounds like pop, like American.
No, yeah. I'm not saying it's impossible to crack it, but even Tyla, she has an African background to her tone. When you hear a tone, there's a South African accent in there. There's some melodies in there that's still very new to them. It still feels fresh. You get what I mean? Even Thames, she does like pop and is it R&B, whatever.
R&B,
but there's still some
like African influence.
Yeah, what's that one of the popular songs?
They Love Me JJ.
Yeah, Love Me JJ. It's Pigeon. Come on.
I think that's one of her most. Should I say indigenous? Like that's as of recent. That's been one of her most like African-ish. Number release.
So it's not impossible to still jack their sound, but I'm saying that for you to be like super unique. Like, look at Burna Boy. He's touring the world. And one thing about Burna is like that. You see how American artists, right? The labels and the industry basically pick you and say, you will be like, you are like, we're focusing on you now. And there's a lot of budget behind it. There's a lot of mechanics that go in the back end pushing artists, right? And if they stop and the label stops focusing on you, that's it, you disappear. That is why, like, some of the greats that we were listening to growing up, you'd be like, oh, why doesn't this person put music out again? Or why do people not care again? It's just because they've pulled the budget away onto somebody new. You get what I mean? But someone like, let's say, a Burna Boy, he can be relevant for as long as he wants to because of just how unique he sounds. You understand? And regardless, like he will still cut through the clutter because he stands out and it gives a timeless vibe. People like Angelique Kidjo have been at this for years, and that's why she's still winning awards, it's still being a Grammy, just because of how unique she sounds. So I'll just say, like, one thing I've learned is just be yourself, just be very authentic. It has happened in the past when the band went to It's a Good Music. Even Davido and Wiz at some point had deals that they were trying to make music that would be crossover sounds. When Davido pulled out of that and went to do If, that is when things changed for him. And then it's like he had come back to do what worked for him because he's African. Like, the African people will pick it up no matter what, and you still see the streams. And he's stuck to that formula since then till now. You get where I'm driving at. So, your authenticity, your Africanness is your biggest seller. That's it. Just be as African as you can. You can jack the sound a bit so that you can have familiar notes to them. Like, that's why you see Burna Boy even still sampling like, no, not Fela, like American music. So the beginning of his song, he'd done like 3 samples already in his past year.
Tony, I think he sampled.
So they do that now just so that they get some familiarity to it, and then they rope you into the tune. So there are strategies around it, but still, your authenticity is what makes you you. You can't be out there and trying to be a 50 Cent here and sound like 50 Cent out there. What else? Another thing too is, just start. Like, I used to be such a perfectionist in putting out things and that's just because from my corporate, when I used to work in Vodafone, like, there's nothing that will go out until it's like fully approved, fully vetted. Everything is like 100% before you go live. But then when I started being an entrepreneur and working with startups and running my own thing, that thing wasn't working for me because it's like, I want to get everything perfect. I remember when we launched Jambo, my business partners were like, we need to launch. We've been doing renovations for over a year. Like, we're doing that for like close to a year. And then my business partner, Therese, Molly's manager, will always be like, listen, we need to go live. We need to start because you can't get a place. I wanted the place to be 100% done. And then I invite people in. So I remember when we launched, we only had the music studio and we had co-working. And so for the longest time, people just thought of launch a co-working space.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah. So you see, a lot of people thought that. There are still people who think that. And I mean, it still serves the purpose of the co-working part. But the long-term goal wasn't co-working. But I had to launch because things had to go. And then as we launched, we built other things. We added the podcasting, we improved the event spaces, we bought more equipment, things like that. And it's just been evolving with time. as we go on. So if you're creative out there, I'll just say start. You want to create content, you don't have lights, open your window. Let's be Sankist, yeah. Put your phone there. Even Headless still uses his phone sometimes to shoot. Put your phone there and then talk to your phone. And look at Elsa Majimbo. She rose to stardom because she was just lying in her bed with her phone and just chewing chips and talking. Yeah. And the videos were going viral. Yeah. And there was a guy, Lasisi, you know Lasisi? Yeah. Lasisi used to just sit in his car, put that stupid Snapchat filter on his face and rant and say very funny things. And like I remember I used to be on his page every day to see the next silly thing he's going to say. And then granted, now he's an actor. Now he's doing big gigs. He's bought a Mercedes. He's living good. And there was some growth. So there's this thing too that they say that the price for content creation, the price for entry is embarrassment. Yeah, like the thing that is cringe, you see, will start paying you. Americans know how to do that. If you do it
consistently enough, I think that's the thing I've learned. Like somebody can start something and it's like on TikTok especially, like 200 views and very little or minimal engagement. The person does it 100 times over and now it's like, oh, I know this person for this thing.
You get used to it.
Everybody just adjusts.
There's a guy in Nigeria now doing my strength is too much. You know that guy?
No.
Oh, the guy that Speed went to Nigeria, he like the macho guy.
Okay, yeah, I saw the clip.
So that guy just does videos saying like my strength is too much, my strength is too much. That's my water.
It's okay.
So keep saying my strength is too much. And I remember the first time I saw this video, I'm like, this guy is so cringe. Like, what the hell is this guy doing? But now, like, he bought his first car recently. I've been seeing videos of people taking autographs of him. He's been getting gigs with brands. Like, he's growing. He's cringe, but he's growing. And just do it for you. Like, there are people who eat it up and people will be ready to watch all the cringe things you do and laugh at it and be like, this guy is so silly. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Are you having to adjust from managing a male artist? So, because I'm a female artist, trust me, I know what goes into it. The makeup, the hair, the clothes that you typically wouldn't have to worry about when you're managing a guy. I'm not saying it's get up and go, but there's less thought that goes into like, you know, the look.
I don't think Melissa is not difficult to when it comes to that styling part. She can style herself. Like for now, she can style herself. I think when we reach a point where there's a massive blowout and there's a budget, then you can now hand it over to someone to do. But in the beginning, a lot of artists will wing it and style themselves. And I don't think I've ever seen her post anything and seen them comment and they're like, what is she wearing? No. Maybe when you see that, then you start getting worried. But I've never seen anything like that.
Solely based on that, like with us, and there's also the perception. Like me being a female artist, a lot of people think, and maybe that's someone else's story, but people think of like moods. You have to manage hormones and stuff. I don't have that struggle, but the perception is that it's harder to manage a female as compared to a man. And you're managing a woman now. You've managed a man before. So I just want to see what the comparative analysis from your end, from your POV looks like.
The thing is true. Like men actually just up and go. I mean, back in the day, male artists, they're just always ready. They're barely moody. There are times, obviously, like as humans, you are moody, but it's not as much as like women need to be prepped for things. And there's a lot of things, a lot of consideration that needs to go into getting a woman ready for an interview, a show, even photo shoots, or even just randomly being somewhere people want to come and take a photo of the woman. I used to join my partner Therese to travel with Moliy, and I remember there was a time we went for a show and the promoter, like I didn't think anything of it because working with male artists, the promoter says they're going to come to the airport with camera crew. Okay. No biggie. Okay, come. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. But then, before we landed and No, it wasn't before we landed. It was even when we landed and the camera crew showed up with the camera. And then Therese was like, what are you guys doing?
Okay.
Do you understand? Because she's a woman. She traveled. She didn't make up to travel.
Yeah.
She just traveled like with in the normal way, like without doing makeup. She's just comfortable. She traveled comfortable, and you're not going to catch her looking like she just woke up from a flight and put her videos and pictures out. You get what I mean? Like when you're maybe when you're traveling, you would glamour, but
no, I don't glamour. But I think it depends on the stage.
Because as a female artist, you always want to look ship in your best. You understand? And she just wasn't comfortable. Like I'm not in the mood. I just woke up from a long, probably 8-hour flight, and you people are here shoving lights in my face saying, hey, Moliy is in Bahamas, and like no, it won't work. So those are some of the things that you have to be mindful about. And safety, that's another thing too that I learned. Oh my God, the safety thing where you can't just send a female artist to a show in some country randomly. Like, you need to ensure there's security, no matter how big or small the artist is. She's a woman. You need to make sure that there's security there. Either it's even better if you take your own security, because sometimes you go for shows, they'll say, oh, this is a security person, and that security person could connive with anybody and harm you. Or when they're not happy with something, they just might not. It's just not safe. So there's a security angle. You need to always ensure that, because sometimes to a female artist, a lot of female artists also, their music sends connotations of like being sexy and that kind of thing. And someone might misinterpret it, that because this girl is dancing sexy and wearing hot things, and you know that stupid thing like men say, because they are moved sexually moved or moved visually, so they just assume
feel
that
entitled.
They just assume that a girl dressed in a in hot pants is asking for it, and that's stupid. So you would find very crass people trying to touch the artists. Because
have you encountered any such like experiences where like people were trying to grope and
I'm very, what's the word? Like, I'm kind of aware of the situation, so I don't put my artists in a scenario like that. But it can happen. It can easily happen. But I've seen it in the past. I grew up in the Miss Bell era.
Yeah, I remember.
When she went to KNUST and the students harassed her. And you see it all the time. Like, artists go into crowds and they are trying to touch them and grope them, and you don't want that. And it's an entitled thing. Like, they just feel like because you're singing about sexy things, so you're asking for it. But that's not the case anyway. So you have to be very mindful of those things. Security.
So prep time. So prep. The variances would be like preparation.
Yeah, a lot of preparation. Yeah, the prep time.
Safety.
Safety. All those things. Man, we can just get up. Like, remember those times working with Easy. We get up. This show here. On the next flight. This show here. The most he has to do is bath. Bath, comb his hair, or even those times if he had twists, you just basically bath and then maybe use your lotion and you're ready. Like, no long thing. You can sit in front of a camera and then talk, but you can't just shove a camera into a female artist's face. You can't just right after. Like, the worst one is the artist gets off the stage because she's going to dance, she's sweaty, and then that's when they want to follow her with camera. Come on.
So all those things you have to do. You consciously prevent.
Yeah, you have to prevent it. Like, you have to let her settle down in the green room. And then you get fans around her.
Touch up makeup.
And then, so if there's a makeup artist, they're perfect. If not, like, just let her cool down and let the sweat leave her face. And let her not be flustered. And then now she'll be at her best to grant an interview. Do you understand?
Yeah. So the conversation around women is one I'm very passionate about, because obviously I'm one, as you can all see. But we're missing from the global conversation, even on the African stage. It's like you hear names: Tyler, Ira, Thames. Who else? I don't know if I'm missing any names. But these are the three ladies that are doing it for African representing. we don't have Ghanaian representation.
You didn't say Moliy.
Moliy, yes, Moliy. But she just even came in and it's like, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. Because for a long time, Thames, Grammys, Tyler, Grammys, all these awards, there's been no Ghanaian lady fully representing. And then Moliy comes. For a lot of Ghanaians, it's like, finally. And me as a woman, I was like, oh yeah, finally, that's being said. But we're not really there. The same way that the Nigerians are, the South Africans are. I mean, we get one person and then like we don't get a second and a third.
It's just a matter of time.
So what do we do, or what do we need to do differently, maybe, to join the conversation?
I mean, visibility. I mean, someone got fired from Grammys. You saw that last time because they didn't nominate Moliy. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, go and Google it. Yeah. So we're getting there. Like it's undeniable. The thing about music is that if you are doing well, you are in the charts. You're on Billboard. It's there. Everybody can see it. So they can't close their eyes against. Like you can't ignore it. And it's just a matter of time. You just need to be visible. Keep pushing. Trying to find You see, the thing about Ghana and Nigeria is that Nigeria has the population.
But beyond that, a lot of people have conversations around funding as well.
Not even that. So the bigger the country, or the economy of scale, right? More money to move around. And also, they are in more rooms than us. If you go to Sony, lots of Nigerians more than Ghanaians. If you go to Apple, more Nigerians. Like they're everywhere you go, there are probably 5 Nigerians over 1 Ghanaian. So they will push their people forward first. I don't know if you get what I mean. So we are missing out on all those angles, and it's not our fault. It's just because we're a small country, but it doesn't mean that we can't be great, because there's no country louder than Jamaica, even though they're a very small island.
Exactly. I was going to caveat that even South Africa is up around like 60 million people, and Nigeria is way more.
So a lot of it is the authenticity, back to authenticity. Okay. Look at Azonto and what Azonto did in that time. Very unique, very small country, but everybody was copying it. Yeah. Even Nigerians are trying to copy it and try and call it a lingo or something.
Yeah. It's even making a comeback now. Have you seen it?
Kakalika. So
not even Kakalika.
Azonto on TikTok.
Music, the music. Azonto music is
making a comeback because of TikTok. Yeah. But even Kakalika, I mean, they call it Ghana piano. I don't know why they're calling it that. So, I don't want to get into any issues, but that sound is very authentically Ghanaian. It has hints of a piano in it, fine, but or house, but because they're being very authentic, they're not following the crowd. They're doing their thing, and it's shining. So, like, once again, your Africanness is a superpower. So, for us to also be on the big stages, we need to tap into our Africanness and create a sound that is very unique to us. So that, because again, back to branding, good brands are brands that are hard to replicate. When it's difficult for people to create or recreate what you've done, then you're unique. And branding, uniqueness is what makes you like exceptional, because branding is like standing out, being unique. This is you. People can replicate this. You can't get another Veana Nagasi. You get what I mean? And that makes you unique. You get what I mean? All those people that look like Kim Promise and Kwame Eugene that are doing lookalikes.
What do you call them? The lookalikes.
Yeah,
yes.
You still won't go and pay to watch them in the show. You still want
people were paying.
You still.
So if they were performing, there was a point where they were performing at like small scale events and funerals, and so I was like, hey, Ghana.
Those people, that's their problem. But yeah, that originality stands, and you need to be original to be able to stand out. And if you're very original, you'll be seeing our people in places that in the world will now even start copying our sound, because they'll be like, what the can I say?
Can you? I need to check.
What is this that sounds so different, sounds so unique? There was even an era in the 2000s that there was a lot of dancehall music that had permeated American hip hop scene, like the Brick and Lays, Love Is Wicked, all those songs. When you go back,
Jambo,
Lumidi, all those people, they were jumping on a Caribbean vibe, and that was a thing then. You get what I mean? So it's not impossible for Americans to now start. Americans are even jacking Afrobeat sounds now to make music. It's not impossible for Americans in the world or Europe to be picking on the Azonto vibe to create music. You get what I mean? I mean, Europeans have a lower BPM to the music they like, but it's not impossible for Americans to pick the Azonto vibe and start laying hip hop beats on it and stuff like that. It's not impossible.
Okay, so I'm going to treat you as AI. I'm giving you a prompt. Act as a marketer, which you are. Act as a marketer and help repackage or market Ghana to the rest of the world. What would you do?
Ghana, right?
Yes.
The unique thing about Ghana that no other African country has is our forts and castles. We have over 40 forts and castles lining up our coast. No other country has that level of concentration of colonial history. Senegal has Gorée Island, and Gambia has something called Kunta Kinte Island or something, and Benin has Ouida. We have almost 40, like, strewn across the whatever. And that's why in the past, Panafest has worked. That is why Year of Return has worked. So for Ghana to sell itself to the world, it needs to tap into being that point to start your tour of Africa. When diaspora people say they want to know Africa, they want to visit Africa, we should position ourselves as a starting point, because that is home. That is where a lot of us were taken out in there. So if you are in the Americas, you possibly passed through, your ancestors possibly passed through Ghana to get there. Yeah. So Ghana should position itself as home to the world, and people should ask the question, or people should say that if you want to know Africa, you start from Ghana. Okay, that's my pitch.
So personally, one of the things I admire about what you've done, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, is, and you even referenced that the intentionality and the uniqueness of Mr. Easy. Like I listen to his music. There are certain things that stand out or stood out for me. It's the hats, the thing at the back, which is like, oh, this is nice. And at some point, everybody started doing that. And then Banku music, he came up with, you guys coined a genre, or created a whole genre for himself, which was Banku music. And then now this Dirty December, there's always something that you create that can only be associated to what you guys have done.
Yeah.
So it was intentional. It didn't happen by chance. The hats at the back, at his back, all of those things.
It's a mix. It's teamwork. It's I won't take credit for it all. It's teamwork. We've always, like, those times when I drive from my house into town, by the time we get into town, we've agreed on something cool to do. You get what I mean? We've agreed on a name for something, or we've agreed on, let's start doing this now. Or we've seen a response that people are liking something specific, so this is how we should now move. So a lot of things are done as evolution of over time. For example, Easy already used to work in the bush, in the mines, right? Back in the day, like, he even says it himself. And he used, in the sun, he would wear that hat, just so that, like, because the Asians even used to wear it in the bush. Before, Galamsey became a menace, those times it was very lax. Anyway, so that thing was already something that he was doing. And as a brand person, I'm like, that's a really standout, unique thing. So let's make it part of your brand. The other things that, like, I recommended, like, I remember when he did his first show, and we were unsure. We knew that people wanted to see him in perform, but we were unsure of how big it would go. So we said, okay, let's keep it intimate. So we were like, we'll do an intimate show for your first show. I remember it was at Fiesta Hotel.
I was there.
Oh, you're there? Oh, really? Yeah, how old were you? 12? And then we called it, I called it 69 with Easy for, why 69 with Easy, because it's very intimate. and just 69 people actually that were invited. And it was so good that replicated 69 Easy in the UK, in different places. And same thing happened with Dirty Rave. You know the story. So, I won't take credit for everything because he's a genius himself. He's really good at what he does too. And I think that is why we were very successful at what we did because I think I'm very creative. I think I like to come up with novel ideas. And as we are bouncing ideas off each other, we're always coming back with masterpieces that Masterpieces that we share.
Masterpieces. we just hacked something right now.
I actually had a merch brand called Masterpiece.
Oh really? Yeah. How long ago was that?
Oh, like 5 years ago. I just couldn't follow up with it. It's still there. The page is still there. Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll come back to it.
Maybe you should
when I'm ready.
Maybe you should. Yeah. So as at now, beyond Jambo Spaces, what else are you involved with?
I manage Melissa. I still do marketing consulting for brands.
Okay.
I can't walk away from that. I think that's my core. And if you're a brand and you need help with your marketing, I can consult for you. So I do that. I do marketing consulting. I'm trying to push the Jambo Spaces agenda for creatives. Helping Melissa with her music. That's it.
Did you see yourself coming back to music? Because at some point you were.
I'm still doing music with Melissa, but
I meant management because at some point I don't think you were managing any artists for a period.
I wasn't. Yeah, for a long time I walked away from it, but I love Melissa's music and I know she's up next. So and because of the proximity of her, and Moliy and Therese to me, at Jambo, because they spend a lot of time there. I'm like, I won't watch this just stay still. We need to push it. So that's why I took it up on my head to help and make this possible. So she's up next. She's the next Africa Rising star and she's going to be everywhere soon. Watch out.
I say amen to that. Thank you so much, Meister, for joining us.
Thank you too.
It was very insightful. And I hope you guys gained a lot of value from this. So until next time, it's been the RV Plus Pod with me, Veana Negasi, and Meister today.
To the Riasi.